into some Glazed and Confused?
Let's do it.
All right, let's get into Glazed and Confused. Just a reminder, this is where we address some of our visitor questions that we get. And we've got some good ones. Now, the one thing that I do want to mention is last episode 2, where we talked about, do you remember?
Well, I remember telling people to stay tuned to find out more about how fiberglass doors and Corvettes have things in common.
Yes, but do you remember what episode 2 was about?
No.
Oh, that's perfect. It was about glass.
Oh,
no, it wasn't. Oh my God, it wasn't about glass. What am I talking about? It was actually about the common mistakes that you can make. Yeah,
mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. But you talked about Corvettes and fiberglass, and we never addressed it later on in the episode. So I'd love for you to kind of can you explain where you were going with Corvettes and fiberglass, please?
I can. So you didn't know this until I told you. Most people don't know this, but Corvettes, going back into the 1950s when they were absolutely beautiful, they're made of fiberglass. They're not made of metal. And when people say, should I buy a fiberglass window or a fiberglass door? What do they look like? I always say, have you ever seen a Corvette? And most people say yes. And I say, well, they paint beautifully, right? So fiberglass windows and doors can have a very, very high sheen. They look as good, if not better than wood. And they don't have all the pitfalls that wood have. So that's what they have in common.
Awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, that does explain a lot.
Yeah.
More, I should say. All right. So let's dive into Glazed and Confused section. So the first question, stop peeking. Jeez, why do you do that? All right.
Curious.
I have an old single pane wood window and 2 of them have cracked. Can you help me with a glass replacement, or should I just consider replacing them? It's a great question.
It is a great question. So the best answer to that is you could do either. Yes, you could replace the glass in your old single pane wood window.
Right.
But why would you? Not energy efficient.
Exactly.
Possibly your old windows are not in the greatest shape. Maybe they need maintenance. Maybe they've suffered some dry rot or some termite damage.
Okay.
You're not getting any UV block or anything. So we can replace your old wood windows with...
the single pane in the wood window.
That's not what I was going to say.
Oh, I do it all the time. Sorry.
She does. I was going to say we can replace your old wood windows, including the glass, with dual pane energy efficient, either vinyl or fiberglass products. And if you're worried about your wood windows not looking like they're wood anymore, fiberglass looks just like wood and can be painted any color, or you can start with stock standard colors that come that way from the manufacturer, and they're beautiful.
Yeah, well, there you go. Corvette, fiberglass, painting, all full circle.
Absolutely.
I love it. All full circle.
Okay, you got another one?
I do have another one. Okay, one side of my house gets a lot of sun and makes the room hot. What solution can we come up with to reduce heat coming in? That's a really good, that's common. Quite common.
It's very common. Yeah. South facing, west facing, especially living here in Southern California. You got to do low E glass. Replacing your windows or doors and putting low E or low E max on your south and west facing windows will dramatically reduce the amount of UV that comes in, and will stop a lot of the heat, the damage to your carpets, your hardwood floors, your paintings, your furniture. If you don't know about low E, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually talked about it, low E, all of these things, actually single pane, double pane, and triple pane. We talked about all of this in episode 2. So do you remember?
Yeah, so go back and do your homework.
Or watch episode 2. That's another way to do it.
Okay, what's next?
All right, next question. I have an aluminum window from the 90s that's severely damaged, and I'm having a hard time getting someone to replace it. I want all my windows to match, but it seems like no one is really installing aluminum anymore. What should I do? This is a great question, right? Because a lot of people talk to us about this, where you got one type of window, you don't really want to do all your windows at once. If you only do one, it's going to really change. Yeah. So this is a great question.
It's actually a very difficult situation, and it's not going away, and it's very common.
Yeah.
However, when you started asking that question, the first thing that came into my mind was that song by Icona Pop.
Oh, good God.
Do you remember?
I think so.
The one
I
about
like it.
being a 90s something or
I
other?
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
That's the song. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
So 1990s aluminum, it depends on whether you have white painted aluminum, anodized bronze aluminum, which is the sort of dark brown black color, or silver anodized, which wasn't very popular in the 90s, but was still being made. The problem is that aluminum windows no longer meet Title 24 in Southern California.
Okay.
So you can't even put them
That's a
in
problem.
legally. They don't meet the building codes, which is why a lot of manufacturers have stopped making them.
Right.
But there are solutions. So vinyl windows come in white, they come in black, and you can also get them in a silver finish. Now, most people think about vinyl windows being tremendously wider than aluminum windows. And that can be true and is true, but there are also series of vinyl windows that have thinner frames. They will never be quite as thin as an aluminum frame because they don't have the strength and the rigidity in such a small piece, but you can get very close to it. And if you look at the big picture as time goes on, you're more than likely going to replace all of your single pane aluminum windows as time goes on. So start with something that you can continue.
Yeah, well, I mean, just for the mere fact of energy efficiency, right? I mean,
Just that.
that alone is one of the reasons why you should be considering it. Well, look, I just want to say these questions were great. I think we're getting some really, really good questions. However, we have not stumped Dunk yet. You did pretty well.
Not going to happen.
You did a really good job. I got to say, you really answered those questions well.
Thank you.
So we need tougher questions, guys. Tougher questions. Let's stump Dunk.
32 years. All I'm going to
It's
say,
tough.
I'm going to say what Liam Neeson said
Okay.
in the movie Taken. Actually, it wasn't him. It was Marco from Tripoli. Good luck.
And with that, let's wrap Glazed and Confused.